When I saw this question, I was really excited because I could like come up with like a million examples. But I have to think that one of my favorite examples is science. It's about science. So in the postmodern world, science is less about like we need to keep everyone alive, but obviously that's still part of it. Is still just like keep everyone alive. It doesn't matter how we do it. But it's also just kind of like we're questioning all the costs of, like we've mentioned in like postmodern lectures, we are now like questioning like what was the cost of that though, like what is that taken away from us. And I think one of the biggest parts of that would be modern technology, so things like cell phones. um, I think these are one of the biggest things of science that we now question, like what is, at what cost have we, are we advancing these? Are we advancing phones and communications? And also, like, what good is that doing us? But then, like, also in sort of like a medical sense, we are also now, there's like so many reports and interviews and stuff being done about like the possibility of like rewinding the aging process and people being able to like go back to a point where they like look so much younger. I remember one example I heard was like someone who's like 60 could like essentially we could rewind the aging process and make them look like they were 20 again. Or I was watching Bill Nye Saves the World, and they're finding ways to like make organs with plants through like a bunch of scientific processes and stuff like that. So like medically, and we're also like finding ways to do like sex change operations to like help people biologically feel the way that they feel on the inside, like the way that their gender is. And um but all of this, we start asking, like what's the cost? Like what are we losing in our society by doing all these advancements? Now, this exchange operations, I don't think many people have much have that like what's the cost, and because it's just like the cost is like people get to be happy. But like things like technology and like the possibility of maybe rewinding the aging process in our lifetime possibly, um is are those things that it's like at what cost is all of this coming? Because it's like, oh, technology, yeah, I'm getting to communicate with more people than I've ever been able to in my life, and I'm getting information so much faster than I have ever been than I have ever, or anyone else in history has ever been able to. um, but on the opposite side, we have this problem with like kids who've grown up with cell phones, so like kids a little younger than we are, who have had cell phones since they were born, or like in their life at some point, whether they had them or not. And they like don't know what life is like without those, so they're losing like communication skills in person with people and don't know how to like talk on the phone or write emails and um, all this stuff. And so, and then with kind of the medical thing, like we are keeping people alive so long, especially if this like reversing the aging process thing is going to happen, that here in America we have to worry about Social Security, and like that was set up for us to like help you out once you're retired. But now everyone is living so long and still retiring at the same age that it's looking like people from our generation and even our parents are not going to see a dime of that by the time that we all retire. And that's my thoughts on the postmodern condition in my life.